Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Jack here. In today's video I'm going to be giving you a bit of an update on the Mini. If you follow me on Instagram at Grinding Gears Official, you'll already know a little bit about what's going on, but I thought I'd update you on the channel because obviously that's what we're all about. Before we get into the video, make sure you hit subscribe, it really does help, and I'm aiming for 250 subscribers by the end of March. So this is the current state of play of the Mini. As you can see, I've got the intercooler off, one of the supercharger horns off, the airbox out, the ECU out, a few other little bits taken off, bumper off, and pretty much what I've decided to do is I'm going to be pouring my money into the car and getting it to a stage where I want it to be. The plan is to put a bigger intercooler on it, a 17% reduced supercharger pulley, some new injectors, my Newman PH2 cam, and a remap. Now obviously this is not a cheap endeavour. This is going to take me a little while to carry out, so this is going to be quite a gradual project. I'm expecting it to take about 3 or 4 months. I'm also going to be sorting out a few things that I know it will need for its MOT in June, such as bulbs, one reverse light bulb, 2 drive shaft boots, and I think that's it. But I also want to sort out some squeaking that I've had in the rear suspension for quite a while. I think it's a top mount or drop link, I'm not too sure, but we're going to have a look into that. But for now, I'm going to try and overlay some clips of some work I was doing last week. I essentially started off this project by trying to change out a few of the radiator hoses for some red silicone ones. I just got really engrossed and I felt really motivated to make everything what I wanted, so I've decided to do it. So yeah, enjoy these clips. Just before I start the video, I just want to say, if you want to grab yourself one of the Grinding Gears stickers, head to the link in the description or go to www.grindinggears.uk. You can see they come in white sort of individual vinyl. They're made locally in Shropshire, so you're supporting a local business as well. And yeah, all the money I make will go back into the channel, so it's a win-win really. So as you can see, we've already got a bit of red in the engine bay. Obviously I wanted to match the exterior of the car, so I do want to get this pipe red soon as well. But first we're going to do the coolant ones. So there's a pipe that comes down off the coolant expansion tank here, which goes down the back of the power steering pump and onto that T-piece down there. So that is one of the pieces. I'm pretty sure this kit is just for all the pieces you can see. Then there's also the radiator, the main top hose, which is obviously there. I think it also includes the bottom hose, but pretty much what I'm going to do is just pull the bumper and the slam panel off like I did last week and go from there. So the bumper's that broken on this car. I've got it down to a fine art of taking it off. It takes me about 2 minutes. So yeah, next we're going to take the crash bar off. So we're now in front end service mode. So crash bar's off. As you can see, I've pulled this slam panel over and it's basically not come off the bottom rails, and yeah, we've got a lot more access to the piping. So let's have a look. I'm going to take the intercooler off because this pipe here is being replaced, and I can see it goes under here, so it's going to be a bit of a mission to do, so it might just be easy to get the intercooler off. So that's the intercooler off. I always find when I'm taking it off there's no real way to do it other than loosen the bolts and just pull, so that's what I did and it came off. Putting it back on is always a struggle, but we'll deal with that when it comes to it. So we do have a lot better view here now. So see, these are the horns off the intercooler, intake manifold, injectors, fuel rail, that sort of stuff. So we do have a bit better of a view of everything. So I'm going to start with the easiest pipe at the back. I'm just going to unloosen them 10mm bolts up there and take that pipe out and do that one, and then we'll work on doing these ones under here. So this is kind of one of them jobs that you do that you instantly regret doing, because as you start taking things apart, things break and you notice things that are broken or aren't in good condition. But anyway, I'm going through and getting everything off. I managed to successfully get the first pipe off, so I've checked them against each other. They're the same diameter and the same shape, so that one will be good to go back in once I put it all back together. So just have a quick look at the engine bay. So I did manage to get that bottom radiator hose off, which is what that one was. I took these bits off which are holding this radiator pipe in. I'm going to drop that off now. Took the intercooler off. I'm trying to get this intercooler horn off at the minute. and I've also took the airbox off. To say I'm too far gone down the rabbit hole would be a complete underestimation of where I'm at. So essentially what we're going to do is send these hoses back, because there's 4 in this one, but I believe you can buy like a 10-piece kit. So I spoke to Chelsea and she said she's happy for me to swap it out, because obviously she did buy it for me as a present. So but she said she's happy for me to swap it out and get the full kit basically. So we're going to do that. It does mean that I won't be able to drive the Mini for a while, because it's going to be here without its radiator again. Seems like a common occurrence, and all of its other associated bits. I do need to get a few things because I've got a few split pipes. I need to get some hose clamps as well, and I'm also going to buy a red one of these. There's nothing wrong with it, but I want a red one. It looks a bit grey. So yeah, going to refresh all the hoses. But for now, this is where we're at. So obviously there's the throttle body. I've just took off the horn, and it's got like a mini throttle body. That's the wastegate, I think. So yeah, just going to keep stripping things down, get all the hoses off, and I'll catch back up with you when there's no hoses left on it. So just a quick update, this video has turned into something completely different. I've started stripping off everything. Don't really know why, kind of enjoying it, but I'm thinking I'm going to basically refresh a lot of the things in the engine bay, bolts and nuts and stuff. A lot of them are all horrible and crusty and stuff like that, so I think I'm going to sort of refresh all them. I'm thinking I'm going to get some bigger injectors and put them in, because they're not too dear. I think this is going to be a bit of an ongoing project. Obviously we've still got the hoses and everything to do. So I've currently taken off the fuel rail and all the lines around here, and I'm just about to take the intake manifold off, and I might service the supercharger while I'm here, just to get that out of the way too. But yeah, turned into something a lot bigger than what I thought, but I'm having fun, and that's what it's about. And the Mini's still in the same state. I left it. I've been pricing up parts and slowly getting parts and whatever. So the first mod that I'm going to be doing is putting the new cam in. So we need to take the rocker cover off. So I'm going to have a go at starting that today. I still need to get these 2 intercooler arms off. I think it's actually only this one that needs to come off, because it's obviously in the way of the rocker cover. And we're going to have a go at getting these bolts out, although they do look extremely rusty. So I've just disconnected this breather hose. It's just a case of pulling it and it come off. It's the same with that one, you just need to loosen the clamp. I'm going to remove all of the ignition leads. Just like so. I'm going to remove the little wiring harness on the back of it too. Now I'm just going to pull these over these bolts, and that's free now. So I'm going to take these bolts for the distributor pack off now. They're just 10 mils. Just lifts off. Make sure you grab these rubber little grommets if you're following along at home. So next I'm going to attack these 2 bolts here. It looks like an 8mm, so we're going to try that. I'm going to go and get some WD-40. Excellent. What a great way to start the day. Another brilliant way to start the day. Isn't that fantastic? Can we go 3 for 3? Thankfully that one remained intact. I don't know how I'm going to get those two out. Now this leaves me in an awkward situation because this is in the way of the rocker cover. So unless I can slide it out the back, I think I'm going to have to drill them out, which isn't going to be fun. And it's definitely not going to be something I can do. Now I do know these intake manifolds aren't too expensive, which is a saving grace, because if I can get it off, then I can replace it. They're about 25 quid. But for now, we're going to work on taking the rocker cover bolts off. They look like 10 mils, well they should be 10 mils. But they're that rusty, I don't think they are. Definitely not 10s. So these rocker cover bolts are 10s. Slow and steady wins the race and all that. There we have it. Okay, now these are the rocker cover bolts. I'm mega rounded. What I'm actually going to do, just to save any rubbish going into the engine, I'm just going to put the ignition leads back on. It's not necessary to have them out to take the rocker cover off anyway. Just removing the distributor pack gives us a bit more room. Yeah, winning. Now I've just got to fight to get my socket back off it. So I needed to take the intake manifold off before I could get to some of these bolts, because I snapped them 2 bolts earlier, which meant I couldn't get down to these. Intake manifold's off. I'm going to plug up them holes now so no crap gets into them. But here's the intake manifold. We did have a casualty. Bottom of it sheared off. And obviously because of the snap bolts in it anyway, I'm not too fussed. There's another snap bolt over here. I'm not too fussed. I'm going to get a new one. I think they're about 25 quid. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, obviously, but not the end of the world. So I've managed to get all of the rocker cover bolts out. So now, in theory, it's free to come off. Obviously being careful because it is only plastic. And I'm going to do the opposite corner as well. Now I'm going to pop these leads. So yeah, I'm on my other camera because my main camera died, which is useful. But yeah, the rocker cover's off, and obviously this is the cylinder head. The camshaft's in there, and that's what we'll be replacing at some point. But I think I'm at a point today where I'm happy to call it a day. Spent quite a bit of time doing this, and I have successfully done it, so I think I'm going to call it here for today. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up if you're excited for the rest of the mini project. Make sure you hit subscribe to stay up to date with it. And yeah, other than that, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.